everyone, welcome back to A City Planner Plays City Builders. We are playing City Skylines and building the city of Bluffside Crossing. So when we last left off, we were building a new urbanist neighborhood on Mount Hood. And off camera, I wanted to make a couple improvements that I thought weren't all that interesting. One of the first improvements that you can see is that there were some kind of oddities with our trail going through the middle of the neighborhood. So I've smoothed that out and improved the aesthetic a bit. Next, I grabbed some assets for shopping centers, including these cart corrals. So I've added the cart corrals and some carts. Next, these buildings were touching before, which meant that there was no way to get to the parking lot in the rear. And since there are no rear doors on these buildings, I thought it was important to provide some pedestrian access to these parking lots, especially since these are getting some decent use. So I've added that. Next, and what you can probably see in the rear is I mentioned in the first video that I wanted to find a way to get down the bluff, and I was really struggling with that, and it was a little bit putsy, so I dealt with this off camera. Now, there are a couple reasons why I thought it was important to have this road. First of all, without some secondary access, this entire neighborhood's a cul-de-sac. And what I mean by that is there's one way in, one way out, and you can loop around up here. And you could zoom out further and say, well, isn't this whole neighborhood a cul-de-sac? And I would agree, it is. In fact, that neighborhood's a cul-de-sac, and so is this neighborhood, Hillcrest. And we're going to want to remedy that in the future, unlike some of our other neighborhoods that have multiple crossings, multiple ways to get around. These two neighborhoods only provide one outlet to the highway. So we would want to include some sort of local roadway connection, but right now we're not there yet. But for this neighborhood, the last thing I wanted to do was create a cul-de-sac inside of a cul-de-sac. So I've created this, and it's steep, I won't lie. It's built right in the side of the cliff, so I added a guardrail all along the side, understanding that it would be quite precarious if someone were to, say, drive off the cliff. So these bumpers will keep them on the road. I know, kind of an unnecessary detail, but for me, it provided me some gratification. There are some other changes that I've made to the neighborhood. In the comments, someone thought that it would be great to rename the neighborhood. Now, someone named this neighborhood initially. They provided this name for Hillcrest, and I said, well, I like the name, but I like all the names that I've been given, so I want to spread them out. Clifton Gardens, though, I like this, and there's a reason for that. One of the new urbanist concepts is to create neighborhoods that have a distinct identity and a distinct feel. And this is getting big, and I want to extend this down a bit further before ending it on the bluff anyway. So having two neighborhoods up here due to the size would make some sense. So I have created the neighborhood of Clifton Gardens and divided it basically at this roadway right here. And so what I'm thinking, I might actually extend this down a little bit because we're going to be working on this neighborhood. We're going to be adding some recreational facilities to support the high school, and I want to change the building style in this area as well. And I'm going to do something that you can do on the vanilla version of the game, or actually Green Cities. I apologize. And that is, I'm going to do self-sufficient buildings for Clifton Gardens. So this will change the feel. It'll still be upscale, similar to Mount Hood, which has high-tech buildings, but it'll be a little bit different. One of the things I've been noticing, though, before we get to continuing to work on the city, is that we are having significant traffic backups. Significant traffic backups all the way back to where the road splits. And the main reason for that is that this stoplight here is not warranted. There's no reason that this would be a stoplight. So we're going to take this stoplight out. And you can see, I mean, there's no traffic using this road yet. That'll come at a later date. But for now, having a stop sign here and allowing people to use this. The other thing that might be helpful would be, let me see if I can remember the shortcut to this. Node controller. And let's increase the radius here to make that turn a little bit easier. So the other place that this could be useful would be here. Again, we're mostly seeing people turn here. Let's make that 29 again. And then exit out of there. And I think this is going to help relieve some of this traffic that we're seeing here. Another thing that could be beneficial would be a pedestrian bridge. And we are going to do that quickly too. I think that a lot of this pedestrian traffic is going to our commuter rail stop, which makes sense. So let's provide a decent way to get there. Okay, maybe this isn't the prettiest right now, but from a utilitarian standpoint, I think it'll do the trick. See if people start taking it. So far, nothing. Let's keep the trees out of there. I see that I have prop anarchy on, so I'm going to eliminate that. The other thing I'm going to do is let's take a look at our traffic to see. There's not really much traffic using the road going in this direction. So I think I'm going to change the junction here as well and get that free flow traffic going towards our new neighborhood. I think a lot of this traffic is coming because the neighborhood is being built. So let's just kind of make this a prioritized movement. Okay, people are starting to take the overpass. So let's get back up here. So there are some things breaking down as a result of some of the traffic issues, and hopefully that'll remedy itself. Let's see if people are using this road. Nope. In the future they will though. So it looks like there are a number of issues with the neighborhood, and that might be good for the next episode to resolve. So I think those are common issues that that folks have, and I know that I certainly have from time to time. Okay, so let's freeform our way around this corner. Didn't line up just right. Got another idea. So I'm not exactly sure how many. This should be 12 tiles, I think. So I want to try to get this to line up and look as good as it can. Okay, yeah, it was 12 tiles. That'll make this look smooth. And then we'll go 10 down here. Okay, and I just kind of want this to gracefully go down the hill until we reach our end point, which I think will be right here. We're gonna do the same thing over here. So we'll go 12 tiles again. And then 10. That's pretty good. Come over here, 22 tiles. Need to fix that power. And I actually might just take this out or pause this for the time being. Yeah, I like that. That's good. It's not perfect, but it has some symmetry. I think that we could certainly improve it, but I don't know how much damage I would do in the meantime, so maybe I'll just kind of leave it like this. So the high school's right here, and one of the things that I am kind of struggling with is I don't want to get the school buildings too far away from the school. So I think we're going to move some of these buildings that we plopped to our new neighborhood. I know that's going to make everyone very sad, but they will get an amenity. So let's look back at our school buildings. Got to recall where those were. Oh yeah, let's see. Maybe they were in parks. Here's where they were. Okay. So we have a soccer field, a football stadium, and a baseball stadium. I want to put all of these within close proximity to the school. Now, it's funny, I've actually recently worked on a football stadium, and some of the things you need to think about with a football stadium is where the lights are going to shine and where the billboard's going to shine. So this is actually ideal. So the billboard is not facing buildings. It's going to face this baseball stadium. With this, we want to think about where the balls are going to go. So we actually probably want to change the direction of this facility. There we go. Now the balls would go out. Away from the houses. I know that's kind of a weird thing, but I'm going to get particular about it because I just dealt with a project like this. And let me assure you, everyone was very particular about it. One of the things that we had in this project was a really nice pedestrian walkway. So I might just worry about the angle. Okay, that'll work. And we're going to level all of this stuff, and this is kind of what I'm going to use as my means of leveling everything. I might change the aesthetic of this. We'll see. And I think we're going to find our high point and use that to level. I think the high point is right here. Okay, much better. Need to do a little bit more fixing of these slopes. Another thing I can assure you, there was tons of grading on this kind of a project too. So not overly concerned about that. Next, we have our soccer field or football, depending on where you live. All right, so I know the construction slope is too steep. I'm trying to figure out where I can, where I need to raise things. Whoops. Ooh, that is rough. We gotta do some work here anyway, so to get this thing level. Okay, yeah, the asset was looking pretty broken because it didn't level all of the terrain. Okay, it was close to this area, I believe, that we needed to raise. Now I'm going to bring this back down, and I have an idea. First, I need to fix the slope here. That's too harsh. Then I'm gonna get rid of these houses so that they come back at the right level. So what I'm thinking might be nice would be to actually, So I'm noticing one problem already, and that is these are zonable roads, and I don't want that. So I'm going to redo these. Let's get some grid clipping or okay. So this is no longer rotated the right way. Now it's correct. But I think the height's wrong. So let's get this. Okay, much better. Now I want to come down with this path into a park. And it'll be a small city park, I think. So let's improve this terrain. Make those slopes a little less harsh, if at all possible. Might need to go a little bit bigger. Much better. And now we can get back to working on our park. So first, let's get this actually set up appropriately. Let me see, paint park area. Do a small one because this is going to be a mini park. If you have any good names for this little park, let me know. Okay, so we have our park. And I think because of the size of this park, we're going to have very small gates. Let's provide a couple different ways in. This will be the primary intersection right here. Try to follow the terrain a little bit. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Now, one of the things I don't love about these roads are that they get these weird junctions if the angles aren't just right. So I'm going to modify those just a bit to make sure that we don't have any weird junctions like that. And this is where Move It comes in very handy, because I was able to just make those couple quick changes and get this looking good. We'll throw in a couple concession stands, which would be beneficial here. Let's see what else we have here. So, restrooms. Don't really need an info booth, I don't think. We're gonna sync those in. Obviously, that's a little crazy right now. And there might not be a lot here, but that's okay. Just a couple buildings and a place to kind of take a load off. So let's lower this down. Right, so we've got those right, and then we want to improve this slope again. I don't know if I improved that or not. To me, it looks worse. So I might back it up a little bit and then grade it again. So maybe the way to fix it is to actually move this building, the restroom. So that is kind of making grading a challenge. All right, now let's get some trees in here. So there are a couple trees that are really bright that I want to take out of here. The azaleas. Let's see what else we have in here. Okay, yeah, I want it to look a little bit like pear trees aren't gonna normally pop up there. I think it looks a lot more natural now. Okay, so let's also get some fencing. Actually, let's use our park life fencing. And I always have a tough time using guides with these, so I like to just be very gentle with my freeform tool. Okay, I'm already really liking this. I think I might be able to connect straight across. Got a straight area again. So yeah, no, I mentioned that I recently worked on a high school football stadium, and it was a very interesting experience for a variety of reasons. First, I never worked on a facility quite like that, and trying to balance the needs of the community with those of the school district is certainly an interesting challenge. Obviously, if a school district is going to invest this kind of money in a facility like this, they want to ensure that their needs are met. But as you'll see in just a moment, the size of this means it must integrate well into the community. So let's want to improve just a bit these corners that I left a little rigid and wonky. Whoops. That one might just stay rigid and wonky. Yeah, I'm gonna break all of that there, but this one I can fix. Okay. So if you look at this, when you look at this in comparison to the neighborhood itself, it is large. That is a significant chunk of the neighborhood. So you'd want to get this right. This is bigger than our shopping center. So clearly an important thing to get right, but that can be a challenge. But ultimately, the school district, the city, we collaborated and worked pretty hard to get to a solution that we all are happy with. And I think that at the end of the day, is it perfect? I don't know if it's perfect, but it's a good compromise. And a lot of planning is compromising. I think I mentioned early on, planners aren't, in the Robert Moses mold anymore, where we just see something and we make it happen. We're really consensus builders that work with local elected officials and citizens to get the vision for the community that they see, that they want, implemented. And in some cases that can be tricky. I think of issues like sidewalks, for instance. It's probably the most controversial thing that I work on. I had the big neighborhoods mod in this installed. And one of the reasons I have it installed is there are roads that don't have sidewalks. And at some point, I'm going to create the kind of subdivision that wouldn't have sidewalks. And we're going to see how that works. Because there are people who will come out vehemently opposed to sidewalks. And before I was a planner, I didn't really get it. Like, well, who wouldn't like sidewalks? But there are a lot of people who don't want sidewalks for one reason or another. They think it makes their community less safe, or their neighborhood. I've heard that they want their kids to play in the road. There are a number of different reasons that people have for moving somewhere. And reasonably, some people decide to move places because they're on sidewalks. Do I agree with that? No. In fact, when purchasing my house, it was one of the things that I told the realtor was a non-negotiable thing. We had to have sidewalks. But I'm not everyone. I'm me, and I'm a planner who sees great value in those things. So yeah, it's just one of those things, I suppose. All right, so resolved the power issue. There were certainly some problems getting power connected up, and now we've resolved that. Okay, pennies. That's Denny's. I guess I downloaded that at one point. So I think most of these buildings are going to be fairly upscale when they fully build out, and that'll take a little bit of time. I do want to do just a little bit of detailing before we end this one, but so far I'm pretty pleased with how with the improvements that we've made today. So what I think I want to do is kind of populate some of these trees. So I got some bigger trees for the outside row. Fill it in. Ooh, not a brush. Individual trees. Kind of make this more of a place. And then inside, I think I want to do something a little more decorative. So we'll put some flowering trees down the center rows. Let's get those closer. So I will not pretend to be very good with metric. In fact, I actually had a conversation with my wife about that tonight. We were thinking back to our trip a few years ago to Greece, and I asked her if she felt that she learned the metric system at that point in time. And I think that we both started to learn it a little bit because we, kind of had to. And as soon as we left, it's gone. It's one of those unfortunate things about America. I love a lot about this country, but I wish that we would, if not fully embrace the metric system, at least give everyone a good base of understanding, because it's so important to understand how everyone else is operating as well. In my mind, anyway. That's a personal opinion, though. Let's get these closer. All right, I think that's much better. I think it makes it look a little more complete. Maybe we'll do another row of these small bushes along the outside. So I've worked on a number of parking lots for shopping centers, Targets and Costco's, and one thing that is always challenging with these are that we have very strict landscaping standards, because we know that these aren't very pleasant. Whoops, I'm just all over the place. These aren't very pleasant to look at, just bluntly, like you see a parking lot like this, and the only way that you can really improve the look of it is to get some landscaping in there. Otherwise, they don't necessarily make the best neighbors. They have a lot of lights. That's something that, maybe you can't see as well in here, and maybe we'll take a look at night before the end. Well, maybe not today. But landscaping is a way to act as a buffer, to shield some of the neighboring properties from that light, from the headlights, from the, kind of the noxious nature of this kind of a use. So I kind of want to mirror that. So real dense landscaping along there. I know that this is something that retailers don't like. Obviously, they want high visibility. They want to show people that their parking lot is open, that there is a place to park, but you kind of have to balance those things. And I think this is a good balance, having that road going through here where you could see that there's lots of available parking. But having this pulled up to the street really, I guess the hope would be that it encourages people to walk, especially since we have this node of density over here. You could walk to the grocery store, walk to Target, and that would be the hope in this particular area, that people are encouraged to do that. So I kind of just want to throw a little bit more landscaping along the trail, and then I think we're going to end the video. I've had a lot of fun with this neighborhood in general, and I think that it's turning out really well and turning into something special. Let's just get a few trees in here that really create that park-like boulevard. Place where you can kind of forget that you're in the middle of, really you're in the middle of a pretty important collector road that's been divided in half. So I think these trees would serve an important benefit there. Let's get prop anarchy off. I have that on. Don't want to inadvertently start placing these trees in the middle of things. So just a few more blocks. Looks like we have a couple of strange errors here, so I'm just gonna fix that real quick. And let's get some pretty significant trees where this breaks off. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look back at our neighborhood before we're done, and I really like what's happening here, and I hope you guys do too. If you think of any improvements that I can make to this neighborhood, please let me know down in the comments. I'd like to make the modifications that you guys think would make this a better neighborhood. I really look at this as us designing together. I come up with concepts, but you guys really help me elevate it and take it to the next level. So any ideas you have, please let me know down in the comments, and let me know what you think. Are you enjoying this so far? We have a little bit more buildable space, and then I think I want to do kind of a forestry edge in a couple different spots, but we really want to preserve those view planes and view sheds as well. So not too much. I think that what would make this area special would be that you could look out your bedroom window and see the skyline. So let me know what you think. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing that. If you like the video, please hit that like button. And if you want to know when I make new videos, please hit the notification bell and you'll know as soon as I release them. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.